All right, so again, welcome everybody. So welcome to Lakeland College, our open house, and welcome to our event, which is called the Business Student Opportunity Discussion Panel. So my name is Brandy Mendez. I am the academic advisor in the business department here at Lakeland College, and I'm actually also an alumni of Lakeland College myself, so, and in the business program. So that was pretty awesome. So as a business student, you actually get ample opportunity to have experiences that are outside the classroom that can broaden your horizons. Opportunities that will build your resume, opportunities that will give you work experience, opportunities that allow you to network within your industry, as well as opportunities that ultimately create friends and memories that will last a lifetime. And I think our guest today can attest to that. So today, with everybody that has their cameras on here, I have 6 guests, 1 instructor, 3 current students, and 2 graduated students that are here to share with you their experiences that built them as an individual. Lakeland strives to provide these opportunities to their students. And so with that, I will let each of them introduce themselves, their name, and which program and major that they went through. I'm going to start with Julia. Do you want to start?
Hi, my name is Julia Colley. I am a current Lakeland and Athabasca University collaboration student. I'm currently in my 3rd year for my Bachelor of Commerce.
Awesome. Allie.
Hi, my name is Allie. I'm a industrial property assessor in the city of Edmonton, and I went to Lakeland 3 years ago for appraisal and assessment.
Awesome. Mary.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary and I am currently in my 2nd year of studies in business administration and I'm majoring in accounting.
I'm Kirk.
Hi, I'm Kirk. I work right now for Synergy Credit Union as an implementation and adoption representative. And I got my diploma in business administration with a major in accounting last year.
Drew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Drew Lopez, and I'm also in accounting program. This is my 2nd year now.
And last but not least, Ben.
Hello, everyone, and a very good morning or good afternoon, depends on where you are. My name is Ben Akwe. I have the pleasure of being the chair of the business department at Lakeland College. This is my 5th year as a chair and 8th year as an instructor in the department. It's a real pleasure to have you here. We think we have a very exciting set of activities for us here today. And I would encourage you to ask questions and to be as involved as much as you can. So once again, you are warmly welcome, and I hope we have a great time. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. So we're just going to dive right into it. So I'm going to ask all our guests a series of questions and they're going to answer. So I'll probably start in the same order that I started. So Julia, I'll start with you. So the first question was, what was your experience? So what was it that you got to experience here at Lakeland College? And can you explain what it is and the events that were held and that kind of thing?
Okay, I was an understudy for the Alberta Dean's Case competition. So what the competition is, it's a very elite competition where colleges and universities across Alberta compete with one another. Students at Lakeland usually it's usually a 3-day long event, depending on the location. It could be anywhere across Alberta. The location changes yearly. So the competition itself is you go to the location and then you're pretty much you and your team are put into a room for about 8 to 10 hours. You're giving a business case in which you have to analyze and problem solve and solve a solution that usually is not quite obvious. You usually have to really do critical thinking. At the end of the 8 to 10 hours, you hand over your presentation on a memory stick, and what's done is done. So what the team members usually do, they go back to a hotel or wherever they're staying, and they strategize. They come up with how they're going to present the next day in front of a panel of judges. So the next day they arrive to present. They don't know if they're presenting at 6 a.m. or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They have no idea. So they eventually present, and they find out in a couple hours or so if they place or not. It's quite intense.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We will move to Ali if you want to explain your experience. Oh, Ali, you're on mute.
Sorry. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. I went on the appraisal and assessment trip, and I actually went to Vietnam with the class, which is pretty cool. You basically go away for a couple weeks and attend a university and go to classes and learn about the way they do appraisal and assessment in a different country. And that's about what it was.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Kirk, if you wanna take it away from here.
Hi, I was both on the case competition team with Julia, but I'm gonna gloss over that because she did such a good job explaining it. And I was also on the student managed concession board. Our job was to run the Lakeland Rustlers concession for the sporting events, both the basketball and volleyball indoor events that occurred throughout the months from October to March. And what we essentially had to do was, I can't put it any simpler than we just had to run a business. We were given very accommodating guidelines on this is when you have to be open, but other than that, do what you can, do what you want, make it work. And we were given a lot of freedom to do that. We just had to drum up excitement for the Rustlers and make money, which is what everyone in the business department is hopefully learning how to do.
Thank you. Mary.
Hi, so I was a volunteer at the tax clinic, and also a volunteer at the student managed concession. First, the tax clinic. So that's an event that is held every year during the tax season. So which is like led by volunteer and like people from the community who just like want to come together to prepare income taxes for students, for seniors, low-income families, and newcomers to Canada. And I guess like Kirk already explained the student-led concession, so that's it for me.
Thank you. Jeru? You're on mute, Jeru.
Thank you, Brandy. I just want to say that there is a lot of opportunity being a student at Lakeland College. I was actually, like, from my experience, I was part of the tax clinic. And also, right now, I'm also attending the Speaker's Corner, which is a really, really great way to enhance your public speaking skills. And also, there's networking opportunity for one of your class if you're in business. So basically what it is, one of your class would, bring not all, local companies in, and then where you can actually practice your communication skills and also your networking. And also there is a peer tutor that you can also utilize. What else? Yeah, the tax clinic. Last year, they've kind of opened it up for first-year students. So I think it was really, really great that they did that. Because before, Erin said that it was only available for the second-year students. So now they kind of open it up for first year. And Mary and I were first year at that time. So we were able to attend it and actually got experience working with the accountants and Erin. It was a really, really great time just working in the tax clinic.
Thanks, Jeru. And Ben. You're on mute, Ben.
What do you want me to talk about?
I was hoping you could share a little bit about Speaker's Corner.
Oh, right. Well, many of you would know that you come into college to learn a lot of new things. Now, what you learn in college amounts to technical skills, how to put together an income statement, how to interpret a balance sheet, how to work out future values and so on, and use a lot of analytical techniques and tools. All of these things are technical skills that are very, very important in the workplace. In fact, when you get a job interview, it is because they were very pleased with the list of technical skills that you have. And they were pleased with how you have used those technical skills. At the interview, though, they are mainly interested in who you are, how you interact with people. How do you sound like? Do you feel like someone they could live with, they could work with? Because believe it or not, we spend a lot of time at work. And when you go to an interview, people are very interested in figuring out, do we want to hang out with this person or not? If they think they want to hang out a lot with you, your chances of getting that job really improve. And this is where Speaker's Corner comes in. We are most grateful that we have been given money to offer Synergy Speaker's Corner, an opportunity to come in and practice your public speaking, your presentation, and your leadership skills for free. And only yesterday we had our second meeting for the year. You can attend in person. I know we have COVID, but you can still attend in person and you can join online. If you attend in person, we provide you with a free lunch. And obviously, if you join online, then you can have as much lunch as you wish. But essentially, we practice public speaking. We practice how to speak in public on topics we are comfortable with and on impromptu topics. We do fun things like telling jokes, because telling jokes may look easy, but in public, and when you're not telling it to your friends, it could be challenging. So this is what we do at Synergy Speakers Corner. We practice how to speak, we give a lot of feedback, and through that, many students have had opportunities to present at events and actually to do better in their in-class presentations. And so if you come to Lakeland College, one of the things you get to do for free is to develop these non-technical skills. And finally, I'll tell you that these non-technical skills boost your resume in a very, very significant way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben. All right, so our next round of questions is so first of all, what were your responsibilities, like particularly your responsibilities within the experience that you got to have? And how did it run, or how did it work? And I know some of these questions have briefly been answered within some of the explanations already, but we're going to get a little bit more into specifics. Starting with Julia.
So my responsibility was a little different from Kirk's. I was actually an understudy, so I wasn't really a team member per se. But my responsibility was to sit back and watch the team and to provide feedback. So when they were practicing their presentations, their weekly presentations for practice of training, I would let them know anything that I thought was great or that they can work on. So it ran by starting in January, they started training for the competition that was in mid-March. So weekly, they would get together between 5 and 10 p.m. So like 5 hours a week, give or take a couple hours here and there, because some of the cases that they were given was a little bit more difficult than other ones. So they were giving a case 24 hours before their meeting by Ben. To analyze and to problem solve and come up with solutions. And when they met at the meeting, the case or the team members would come prepared to share their views on the business case that they were given. And so they would keep on going back and forward until they came to a resolution or solution to the problem. They would create an oral presentation and a visual presentation, and then have to present it in front of Ben, and then get Ben's feedback. All this would happen within 5 hours. It was absolutely intense.
Thank you so much. All right. We will move on to Allie.
Sure, that was just like what the responsibilities were, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Responsibilities, kind of how did it run, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so Ken at the beginning of the year brings up the opportunity of doing a student trip. Whether or not that'll happen with COVID in the future, I have no idea. But as a class, you get to brainstorm a bunch of different locations that you're interested in going in. And then you end up making presentations on each location, and then you vote together where you want to go. So we ended up going to Vietnam, and as a class, you spend a few hours every week planning out your itinerary, booking flights and hotels and all the fun stuff. And Ken takes care of meeting all the presenters in Vietnam. So it's kind of a class-led effort for everyone that wants to attend what you do.
Thank you. All right. I believe Kirk is next.
Hi. So for my responsibilities and how it ran for the case competition, Julia hit the high notes of the time frame and stuff. I would want to say that my responsibility probably could best be described as learning as much as possible, as quickly as possible. From the beginning of it goes from January to March, and you have one night a week where you have to learn the skills of building the presentation, building the analysis skills, the tools that you need to use to break down these businesses. You need to cram that into like a 10 to 14 week period. And you're going to get that feedback from Ben once a week, and you need to get that in your blood. Everything he teaches you is going to be your gospel for 3 months. But then on top of that, when you're breaking down these cases, if someone hands you a 12-page document that just says, this frozen yogurt shop needs your help, you need to learn everything there is to learn about frozen yogurt in the next hour, because your job within 5 hours is to present to them how to solve their problem. So you need to be able to know where to look, how to filter through between proper information and noise, and how you can use that and use the analysis tools you know to build a path to success for this company. And sometimes you'll hit misses, and you need to learn how to deal with that too. There was a couple times where we made pitches to Ben, and he just, that face he's making right now, that stone face, which is, Ben, you're smiling, you're not allowed to smile. He'll make that stone face at you, and you're like, "Is this? Are we talking nonsense? Have we come up with the worst way to save this frozen yogurt shop?" And you need to learn how to take all of that in stride and take all of those tools and put them together to deliver something that you can be proud of and that Ben can be proud of, because you have to drive home with him from the competition. So, and for the student managed concession, like I said earlier, you're given the dates of the games, and you're given a financial target. And then you're given a few resources that you have, like where we order the popcorn from, and where we have agreements with, and some contact information for some of the vendors. But from there, they just say, if you don't want a leash, we're not going to give you one. You get to manage your volunteers. You get to reach out to the faculty and ask them if they're going to offer credits to certain members of their classes if they help volunteer, so you can help encourage people to come out. And then you've got to design that menu. You've got to be at the events. You've got to supervise the staff. You got to make sure you're following Alberta liquor laws, because people want to drink at sporting events. That's just something that you're going to learn. So there's a lot of things you have to pay attention to, but it really is just running a business on the smallest scale. But every piece of it that you can think is there, from bookkeeping to reporting your profits at the end of the term, it's all there. And you have to learn a lot of that. And You also have to learn to rely on your instructors, because if you just ask your accounting prof, hey, we're going through this, what should we do? They'll sit down with you. They'll make time for you. So you just have to learn where to use these resources and how you can use them to succeed, because they're there for you.
Thank you so much. Mary.
So I guess I'd like to give a different perspective with the student concession, because unlike Kirk, like he was the manager and I was like just a volunteer worker since I'm just a first year student when I joined in. So as a worker, I am responsible to show up to my shift. So like if I sign up to be the bartender for that night, I am gonna show up to be a bartender for that night, because as a bartender, there's a different requirement. Like you have to have your pro serve. So if I don't show up, no one can like do that part of the job, right? So yeah, so I would normally like show up early and make sure I have the enough inventory, like supplies for the night. And then if I need more, I notify Kirk, I need more of this, or like later on, I just do it myself. Because as a volunteer worker, I knew ahead of time that I don't want to be part of the management team for the next year. So I try to get myself involved with the management as much as possible. So I would like show up early, be part of the inventory counting, the cash count, and everything that they do. So I would know what to do for the next year. And yeah, I'll let Drew talk about the tax clinic actually.
Sounds good, Drew.
Yeah, with the tax clinic, I guess your responsibility for, working in the tax clinic is preparing just personal income taxes, as what Mary said, for the students, for the low-income families, new immigrants in the local family. There is someone that reviews your work after you complete it. So before you actually submit it to the CRA. Like before you hit the net file, where it goes to the CRA file. Before you hit that, the accountant that works in the tax clinic would review your work first. So there is no, I guess it's a responsibility for the students. It's not gonna come back to you that you did a mistake on preparing it, or yeah. And then there is also a training beforehand. So before you actually move into working, actually preparing it, there is a training session for the tax clinic. Yeah, that's about it for the tax. There, we have a schedule. Usually we would have maybe about 5 to 6 students during in the tax clinic that kind of prepare the taxes. And I just kind of want to also talk about the networking, because I'm very passionate about networking. In one of the class in business communication, so it is actually an assignment. So you actually have to go there to get the mark. So I guess preparing it, just asking questions with your instructor. And when you get there, you actually have to talk to at least 3 local businesses and be able to get their business cards and be able to report to your instructor back of what you actually learn about them. So I think it was a really great way to just kind of learn how to enhance your communication skills and also your networking skills. And yeah, in the speaker's corners, I'm going to leave that to Ben.
And Ben.
Near 50% recent polling, so runoff there is. So they're tied anywhere at 43%, according to this week's New York Times Siena College poll, well below the 50% threshold.
Hello. Well, it's always, I was just collecting some information from another student. You have to multitask very often here. It's exciting to provide opportunities to students to shine. That is the bottom line. We know students come to us to get these technical skills. But one of the things we also want to do is give them opportunities to practice what they are studying. And that is something which makes Lakeland College stand out. The fact that we offer these opportunities to students to practice what they are studying. In a lot of other places, you would go into a class in your first semester throughout your time in the college, and instructors would not know who you are. But here, we thrive on having these relatively smaller classes. Instructors get to know you, and you get involved in projects. It could be in a tax clinic, it could be emceeing the President's Gala or the awards night, or helping out at the annual Inspiring Women's Conference, or taking part in a case competition if you like to compete, and in a whole raft of ways. So as a department, we will continue to do that. This year, we know COVID is stopping us from doing some of these things, but here's another opportunity that we are working on, our students are working on. There's a website called ripen.com, RIIPEN. Now, I have my e-commerce students working through that website with one business from California and another business from St. Albert. The beautiful thing here is we are now able to get students to work on projects. And these are projects which come from businesses throughout North America. And even more instructors are going to be using this option so that students can still work on these projects and practice what they are studying. Last week, we had a presentation from Wix.com. Wix.com is like GoDaddy or Shopify. And at the end of the presentation, they gave everyone who attended a coupon, which will now allow that student to have their own domain name and their website for free for 1 year. That is worth several $100s. That allows the student to go to create their own website and to talk about how good they are. When an employer Googles you, that will be the first thing that they will see. And we think that is extremely awesome. So we are always looking for ways to push students, to get students to develop other skills, networking, leadership, management, and we will continue to find innovative ways to do that. I have to also say that for some of the businesses on Ripen, they actually offer you a job if you can complete a good project for them. When my students were looking through we had 3 businesses from California and 1 business from St. Albert. We chose the one from St. Albert, Canadian obviously, and then we chose another one from California and said no to the other 2. But one of the other 2 that we said no to, they were cash if we took on their project and if we completed it within a time frame. But it was just way too big for the students to do in the time frame I have for them. So let there be no doubt, we will definitely deliver the technical skills that every other college will deliver. But in addition to that, we will also give you experiences, we will give you opportunities, and we will connect you with employers through some of our very, very innovative projects. And all we ask for is that you have an attitude to learn and an attitude to want to push yourself. That's it.
Thank you so much, Ben. All right. One of my other questions was, within your experience, what skills did you feel that you needed to be successful? And did you learn some of those skills from your classes? And if so, which ones? Starting with Julia.
Okay, so I really feel that you really needed the desire to want to learn new things, the ability to take the feedback that Ben has given you and learn from that feedback. I should say. I feel that all my classes help me, whether it be, for example, in accounting and finance, to critically analyze numbers, because often with the business cases, you have to do financials, or communications, for example, because it taught you how to present professionally. If I was to recommend anything, it would actually be any course by Ben, because his courses are so engaging. He definitely wants you to critically analyze everything and back up anything like that you have an opinion on, which to me is all vital aspects for the business case team.
Thank you. Allie.
I'm so sorry. What was the question?
Oh, no worries. The question was, what skills did you feel that you needed to be successful within your experience? And was there any particular business classes that contributed to your success?
I didn't actually take my first year of business through anyone at Lakeland, so I can't really attest to any classes that would have been helpful at all. But I think definitely the one skill you need to do any trip that's out of the country is just to be super open-minded and really go with the flow and just say yes to all the opportunities, and don't be scared of it, even though it's terrifying sometimes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Kirk.
For both the case competition and the concession, I found that in some way I could make use of something I was learning from most of my classes, because you'd be surprised, whether you're in the case competition or the concession, you're meeting with these other students, you're discussing solutions for a case, you're discussing sales figures on certain things, and you'll accidentally just drop a term from microeconomics into your regular speech like it's nothing, and you realize that you're drawing on something that John Turvey said. You might not have it all right, but you're drawing on it. And being able to grow that, and especially in both of them, even from the things that feel like no-brainers, like the PowerPoint you're going to learn in business computers, and the presenting you're going to learn in Speaker's Corner and your communications classes, to how to present information that you learn in marketing, to actual bookkeeping and accounting that you're learning from your accounting courses, and how to judge whether or not something is actually making you money, whether you learn that on a big scale in corporate finance or in the small business courses. You're going to be able to apply so much of that in a lot of weird ways that are going to surprise you. And that's really the interesting part about why you should do these out-of-class opportunities, is actually getting a frame of reference outside of economics, where you might talk about economics, or outside of corporate finance, where being able to talk about financing a project and how that could work it's going to come up, and it's going to come up a lot more than you'd think originally.
Thank you so much, Kirk. Mary.
So yeah, for the tax clinic, there's really not like technical skills that you would need ahead of time, because when you get to the training, they will teach you everything you need to know about the software that you're going to need, like what questions to ask your clients when you're preparing their income taxes, and like what the previous people mentioned earlier, like you just need to be willing to learn and to just have that drive to like just do it. So I guess that's what's more important. And then again, to like add on to the communication skills that Julia mentioned earlier, because you're dealing with really confidential and private information with these clients, you need to know how to handle yourself well, to ask this question in a professional manner, like asking them if they filed bankruptcy last year. It's like, that's a little bit awkward, but if you like handle yourself professionally and ask it in a nice way, then the awkwardness will be avoided, I guess.
Thank you so much. Drew.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same thing along the line with Mary. Is the willingness is the key for the success for us, the students at Lakeland College, because the opportunity is already there for us. The business department have really, like, I was in Lakeland College back in 2015. I went back in 2019. And I've seen a lot of growth and changes in Lakeland College. from that just time frame. And I can't wait to see more of what they're going to bring to the students. And I'm just excited. And yeah, your willingness is the key. And back in 2015, I wasn't willing to do anything. And 2019, I had the attitude. I was like, you know what? I need to go back in school with a purpose. I'm here to learn, and I'm going to learn as much as I can. And yeah, and now I'm just excited. I'm excited for opportunities.
Thank you so much, Ben.
The biggest thing we expect from students to come with is a great attitude. And what drives this attitude is your quest to get somewhere in future. Here you are with a set of skills, and here's where you want to get to. And our job is be in the middle and help you to get to that destination. That is all we do. For some people, we have to push. Others, they may be self-motivated. But the bottom line is we will continue to help provide opportunities to you. We would encourage you and support you more than anyone else would support you. Especially, if you're an international student, we will make sure you have the supports to thrive, not just to survive, but to thrive in this environment. If you're a domestic student, again, there are lots of support available to you academically and non-academically. So we will provide you with these opportunities. And like I said earlier, just come in with a great attitude.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ben. So we are nearing the end of our time, and I'd like to end with one last question or set of questions. The question is, again, starting with Julia, was, did you have fun in your experience? What was your favorite parts or your most rewarding experiences, or do you have any stories to tell?
I had a lot of fun actually with the business case team. It was really fun for me to be the case study because I got to sit back and watch all the magic happen. I knew all the team members pretty much personally, so it was amazing to have those conversations, the personal conversations leading up to it, of laughing and carrying on about things that had nothing to do with the case team, but like within a drop of a hat, like game face on, like the motivation, the spark of drive in each one of everybody's unique abilities. Just watch them shine, to watch the fire, watch the motivation, like just amazing. Like if somebody wasn't good at one aspect, the other four team members or the other team members, they would just come up and like lift each other up. Like it was an amazing thing to see. Like, and you have to be there, you have to be a part of it to actually know what I'm talking about. I would highly recommend to either nominate yourself or nominate somebody that you think would do amazing, because it is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Thank you so much. Ali.
Yeah, that was an incredible trip. If you have the opportunity to go out of the country with your school, you probably should. It's just fun, and you learn with your classmates. Like you learn how to cross the street, you learn how to order food, and it's really make you grow as a group. So I think the best takeaway from that experience is that I got my best friends from it, and I still contact them every week and talk to them daily. And it's pretty cool to get friends like that from school. So good experience.
Thank you so much. Kirk.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with both of the experiences. So much of it was very rewarding and informative. In the concession, we had success of being the first concession to ever sell hard liquor. And we created our own green cocktails to celebrate Lakeland Rustlers. Go Rustlers. And that succeeded really well. And then for the case competition, there are so many stories I could tell, but I'm going to try and control myself here. But just itself is something like you wouldn't believe. You're coming off of 12 weeks of weekly things that you're doing in between midterms, and there comes a point where you've got a midterm on Monday, a midterm on Thursday, and you're meeting with Ben at 10:30 at night, hearing him just say, like, guys, you got to work on this, where you're like, is this worth it? and then you hit the end, and it is worth it every single time. During the competition, we felt like, you know, a soda bottle that you shook up too much, and we were just like exploding with energy and stress. And one of the coolest things was we spent all day working on this presentation, and we put it on the USB stick. We gave it out, so we had the night to eat dinner and then practice in front of Ben, and have him just tell us what we were doing. So when we performed the next day, we would be on our A game. And we did one run in front of Ben, and he watched stone face the whole time. And then he stood up, PowerPoint, and he presented to us using the information that he had seen from our PowerPoint one time. And he took us to school. He just held a clinic on how to present this information that he had not spent the last 12 hours looking at, that he had not racked his brain all morning. He had never seen it before in his life. And that opportunity to learn from someone who could just take it and go, just run with the information and show you how it's done. Every practice after that, we were carrying 10, 20 times the energy, trying to pick up every little thing that we could in that moment. And when we finally presented, and this is just a fun, embarrassing story, we presented and we were just so full of energy and vigor, and we were losing our minds. We had been focusing on this for so long that we walked out of the presentation room into sort of the decompress room, and we all just are going, yeah, and yelling and high-fiving because we felt amazing. And then one of the coordinators of the event comes in behind us and just says, hey, thanks guys, and shuts the door. And we realized that the whole audience that we just performed had heard us just scream like, we kicked butt, oh my gosh. And it was embarrassing, but we couldn't hold ourselves back. We were just thrilled, but from the experience and from what we had learned and what we had delivered, like we couldn't believe how excited we were.
I love that story. Thank you so much, Mary.
So for me, I would 100% encourage prospective students to just try to be more engaged with the community and just put yourselves out there. Because like for me, having to experience all this volunteer work, I get to sharpen my soft skills like my decision making, professional communication, and then I get to meet people, make professional and personal relationships. But on top of it all, I got to know myself, like I found out that I can do so much more if I just put myself into that situation. So like for myself, I was like chronically shy growing up, but putting myself in all this situation, like my old self will not believe you if you told me like I will be in front of all these people talking about my experience. So it was really great.
Thank you so much, Mary. Giroux.
Yeah, I'd say probably the experience of like specifically for the tax clinic. Because usually you would have 3-hour shift. So one day I just made a decision, you know what, I'll do 6 hours, the full day. So I did the full day. And at the end of the day, it was just so fun to just like, wow, that's how many tax files I did. And that's how many people I've actually helped. And like you actually get to connect with the people when you're working with their tax files. And it's just really, really great opportunity to just kind of enhance your skills, like your communication. And also at the end of the day, like you talk to your friends and just make that connection. And like what Ali said, like sometimes with these opportunities that you have in school, outside your classes, the people that you're working with becomes your friends. And now Mary and I, we're really like now we're working together with the SA. Like we're just real. I feel like we're friends, and I've connected with other people, and I've hung out. Like I had an opportunity to work with the student ambassador last year as well. We hang out like through the summer. We traveled in band. So like you actually really make real connections after all this, opportunities that have been presented and that you've actually taken. And yeah, and it's a really, really great fun experience and opportunity for everyone. And yeah, that's about it for me.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, Ben.
It's wonderful working with students. It is a wonderful privilege and honor to be part of people's lives, to be part of that journey. It's a huge blessing that that person has spent some time with you in that journey, and you want to make sure it is a memorable experience. You want to make sure you leave that person feeling good, because it's a very small world and you have no idea when you will meet someone else along the line. And so my team and I, we see this as a relationship. We don't see students as you're here today, gone, goodbye. We see it as a relationship. Today you are a student. Tomorrow you could be an alumni. You will be an alumni. The next time you could be a business partner or a donor or both. The next time you may be recruiting students to come and work for you. And so we approach this with that mindset. We are privileged that you've chosen us. You get to spend some time with us. And we have an opportunity to have a relationship which will benefit you. And my hope is that we are able to continue to do that. All we ask is you just come to us with an attitude of wanting to learn. Like Mary said, push yourself. Ali said, you make memories, you make friendships. Like Jeru said, you travel to great places, you meet all these wonderful people. Julia talks about putting yourself out there. There's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of fun. And Kirk talks about experiences that he will never forget. This is what we are all about, making sure your time with us is fun, it's exciting, and it helps you in your journey forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled that you guys took the time to be able to share your opportunities. And like, as we talked about through the entire meeting here, there are so many opportunities that students have to be able to build on their skills and network and grow into the person that they've become. And I can, and I didn't share many of my experiences today, but as a Lakeland alumni, I can testify, like everyone else here, that these experiences grew me into the person that I am today, and I'm so thrilled for that. Thank you again, everyone, for attending. I just want to give everybody a heads up that we still do have a meet and greet at 1:30 with a couple of our business instructors today. We also have another Q&A live session about our programs, and also our lemonade stand game for anyone who wants to try and win a little swag bag from business. But yeah, and so that's all we have for today. Thank you to our guests again for coming out and sharing your experiences. It was absolutely wonderful to hear from you guys today. And with that, I'll say goodbye, and everyone enjoy the rest of Open House.